So this is the student warm-up number 1, and this is kind of for beginner students, but it could be for any level really. But it's just one page of warm-ups, probably to do before you practice something like scales or RCM technique, arpeggios, you know, whatever your technique routine is. But this is just like a one-page little warm-up. I made this with certain students in mind, like the average student who maybe doesn't practice that much, doesn't do that much technique, but these couple exercises might just kind of help them out, and it's only one page, so they won't rebel if you give it to them. So I'll start with the right hand exercises. It just starts off with just I am exchanges. So I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am. And you just repeat it. Just make sure you're moving from this upper joint, moving the fingers in towards the palm like this. And that you're associating the I finger with the beat. I. And then number 2 is in triplets, so in groups of 3. So that means the accent will be different. It'll be I am, 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 I am. You can practice these all with both free stroke or rest stroke, depending on what you're doing with your students or what you're doing with your teacher, if you are a student. Number 3 is going to be P-I. Just remember that the thumb needs to come around the outside of the finger. Don't do this where the thumb comes on the inside, and don't let these two fingers compete for space. The thumb should be ahead of the fingers. So it's like that. Number 4 just does that across many strings. And then we add the M finger on the adjacent string. Again, remember to keep the thumb on the outside of the fingers. Don't let these two fingers compete for space. On the next string. Sorry, actually. So you just keep doing it, and then onto the left hand. This is a great exercise for the left hand. So what you're going to do is you're going to play one of the strings and let it ring out, and then you're going to play the open string that's right next to it. Watch what happens if you use bad technique. You'll accidentally mute the string below. So you have to be on your fingertips. This is a great exercise if you're tired and you're not able to think too clearly, so then you'll just automatically hear if you're not using good technique, and you'll have to adjust. I call this like a self-correcting exercise. It's great for kids because kids can't conceptualize technique, so sending them home with this exercise means that when they're at home they'll realize, oh, I need to play on my fingertips. Because they'll often just forget, they just won't do it. So this exercise, by its very nature, forces the student to play on their fingertips. The only danger of the exercise is that some students might throw their wrist out in order to get on their fingertips. Just remember, flatten that wrist out and curve the fingers instead. So generally a straight wrist for the most part, or arched. Don't throw the wrist out like that. You can use any right hand fingering, doesn't really matter. and students will just simply play better. And then the last few exercises are just slur exercises. So you have ascending slurs with 1 and 2. And 1 and 3. And 1 and 4. And then descending 2, 1. Or 1, 3, 3 1s, right? And then 4, 1. On the slurs, on the descending slurs, you can either do it like a rest stroke with the left hand. That would be when you really pluck the string downward. Or you can do kind of a pull-off. The pluck is going to produce a much more clear sound. The pull-off, a much weaker sound, right? And of course you can do a combination of the two. So that's just one page of warm-up exercises for the average beginner student or early intermediate student even. But if any of these concepts you aren't comfortable with them, or your hands aren't doing them, or the student isn't doing them, then this technique routine should help. And just memorize the exercises, and every time you sit down before you practice your scales and arpeggios or your technique, regardless of what technique routine that is, you can just warm up with some of these exercises. This one's my favorite, as you can tell. Okay, hope you enjoyed. Thanks, bye.